It is a pleasure to share with you today. Yahuah, Biblical Hebrew. Learn to read the Hebrew of the Scriptures and discover the name Yahuah. The purpose of this course is for you to learn to know Yahuah, which is Yahuah. We're gonna take you in a journey for the first 10 lessons for you to read everything in Biblical Hebrew. And then we're going to move on from lesson 11 to 20 to the second level of this biblical course. We're not using Nikud, which is accent. We're not using Masoretic text. We are going back to the very beginning, the most pure Hebrew closest to the scriptures. So we're going to start today. Don't worry, we got alphabet over there and we're going to work on it, but we're going to start basically with the introduction. This is lesson 1, started with introduction, and we're going to start with a few letters, actually what we call vowel sounds, for you to have a clear understanding of what you're going to see in this course. First, we have Alef, which is the main or the first Hebrew word in the alphabet. Alef is actually a mute, a silent sound. It gives support to the letter that is before or after, but the sound is a. It's not a as in apple, it's a. Okay, so you gotta understand to make the difference so you don't mix the languages. The sound is a. The vowel a is defined by 2 letters in Hebrew, Alef and Ayin. Okay, both of them represent the letter or the vowel a in Hebrew, which is the sound a. Like when you say apple, you don't say apple. Nope. So let us increase so you understand better. This is the sound of the Hebrew a. Okay, it's not a, it is always a. And this is the first vowel sound we have, which is represented by Alef and Ayin. The second one is Yad. This is Yad, and sometimes in more modern Hebrew it is called Yod, but in ancient Hebrew it's called Yad. This is what we know as the letter Y. Okay, everywhere you're gonna see it is gonna be represented by Y, and sometimes by this one, which is I. But in Hebrew, it's gonna have the sound all the time of E. E. It's not I. It's not like in Canyon. No, it's E all the time. It doesn't matter where you see it. The sound is the same. E. So when you see in the transliteration system the Y, it is pronounced like E. If you also see the I, it is always pronounced like E. This is the second vowel. And the third vowel is represented by wow. Well, traditionally speaking, modern Hebrew, academic Hebrew, they call it Vav, but this is not the case. We're talking about Yahuah, Biblical Hebrew. We're going back to the foundation, way before Masoretic text, way before all that. So the sound is, for wow, is what we call U, but I'm writing over there, so you see the sound we're gonna be using, U. And in most of the cases, it is this U, which is represented by W. But the pronunciation is U. It's not U. Don't mistake it by the English U. No, it is always pronounced like U. Double O. U. Okay, that's the way you pronounce it, but you're gonna find it in transliteration as W or regular U. But it doesn't matter where you see it, it's gonna be U. And in some cases, the same letter is going to represent the vowel O. And the vowel O is pronounced O. It's not O, it's always O, like in Oscar. So it's O, okay? So this letter while 3% what you call as the oo, or o sound. These are the vowel letters we're gonna be using in Yahuah. If you will understand, if you stop for a minute, you're not gonna find the E sound, which is the one used in elephant, okay? You're not gonna find that sound in Yahuah, okay? Because in Yahuah, we preferred, according to ancient Hebrew, the A sound. For example, instead of Ben, which is son, in Yahuah, you will find it all the time, ban, okay? This is just a little explanation for you to understand. Reviewing, we have 3 or 4 vowel sound. The first one is A, as in apple, represented by these 2 letters. The second one is E, which is the we're gonna find it everywhere as I, but it's pronounced like E, or Y, which is always pronounced like E. And the third one is la wow, the letter wow, and it is pronounced like oo all the time. It doesn't matter where you see it. It doesn't matter if you see W, it doesn't matter if you see U, it is always oo, or in some cases you're gonna see it as O. Let me give you a small example over here. We have Alef, okay, which is Elohim, because this is Alef, and it represents the sound of A, which is A in Hebrew, okay? So it is Elohim. That's what is the translation for what you call God, but it's actually in plural, which is God's, but we're gonna check that later. We're gonna learn everything later. This is just an example for you to keep the sound of the vowel. The second example that I want to try, that I want to share with you in this introduction, are these 2 letters. I'm giving you the exceptions for you to pay attention and practice them. These are the kind of the most difficult ones, the one that can confuse you a little bit. So that's what we're sharing them at the beginning. We have the letter H, okay? H, that's in English. In Hebrew, this is he, actually it's ha, but we're gonna call it he, which is the regular H in English. It doesn't matter where you found it, beginning and middle of the word, you're going to understand now in a little bit. It is pronounced like regular H in English, like when you say Hector, hotel, which is perfect, exactly the same as in English. Now, this one is het, okay? This one is the tricky one. It is represented by the H, but the pronunciation is a little bit strong in the back of your throat. Okay, so whenever you see this one, it is a regular H, the pronunciation in English, which is he or ha, but this one is strong. This one is pronounced everywhere you see it. This one is only pronounced like that at the beginning and in the middle of the word. You're going to understand now what I mean. When this one is found at the end of the word, I'm going to show you what happened. So we got an example over here. We have as yad or yod, which is the one I told you at the beginning, which is pronounced like E. Okay, that one is the one that is pronounced like okay, everywhere is pronounced like This one, in 95% of the cases, it is pronounced like oo. In some other cases like In this case, we're talking about the name Yahuah, and pay attention closely. If you see these letters at the end, when it is at the end, you pronounce, you see, like but since it is at the end, the H is not pronounced. You don't say Yahuah, because the H at the end is not pronounced. That letter sound is like all the time. It doesn't matter where you see it. It's like plain all the time, okay? So, but when it is at the end of the word, even though you write the H at the end, you don't pronounce it. But since you have it in the middle of the word, it is pronounced like regular H. That's why we say Yahuah. And sometimes, if you want, you can even pronounce a little bit stronger, Yahuah, but it's Yahuah. Pay attention, you're not pronouncing the final H, okay? Now, remember the difference between the he, which is he, and ha, and het, or ha. Both of them are pronounced like but the pronunciation, the words is gonna tell you the difference. Let us check a few tricky examples here. Remember, this is always like E, always. So we have, and this is like the H in the middle, okay? Since it is it's pronounced like that letter. So since it is in the middle, you need to pronounce the H. That's why this one is pronounced like U all the time. And we're gonna see the SH later on, and I already told you about the Ain, which is A, okay? That's why you say Yah, because it has the sound is AH, Yahu, because that's U, you see? Yahusha. Yahusha is the name of our Savior. So let us see now the difference between this sound and this one. This is the tricky part, because that one is like a regular H. But here is the tricky part, which is strong. So we say this is mem, shin, and you already know that one, which is the E sound. Mashiach. It is at the end of the word. But in Yahuah, most of the time the transliteration is gonna be like KH, so you understand the difference, okay? But it could easily be AH, but we don't want you to be confused. So in Yahuah, we're using the KH sound, and it's strong, Mashiach, because that is very strong sound. It doesn't matter if it is at the end, at the beginning, or in the middle. Everywhere you see it, it's gonna have a strong sound, Mashiach. Now, if the H, meaning this one, okay, if this one is at the end of the word, the H at the end is not pronounced. That's why we say Yahuah. Remember all of this, okay? I'm giving you the exceptions in the first lesson. This is very easy because it is the SH sound everywhere. So that's why you have Yahusha all the time. It's not S sound, it's SH, okay? In Masoretic text and some other places, they're gonna add a naked, which is an accent, and they're gonna say that it's like S. We're not doing that Yahuah. We are going back to the origin. We're going back to the foundation. The foundation is that this is Shin, and it will always be Shin everywhere you found it, okay? Doesn't matter where you see it, it's gonna be Shin. So this is Yahusha, and the second one, we are repeating it so you remember Mashiach. Mashiach is what you understand as the anointed or the Messiah, okay? Next sound is Tzadi. Tzadi is a tricky one, and it's easy for you to remember because all you have to do is remember the word pizza, because it's pronounced like TS together, pizza. We have example here, which is tzadok. Tzadok, because you have the tza here. So you have, and this is a good one for you to understand. You see the letter we have over here? The letter we have over here is wow, which is the U sound. But in some cases, it's the O sound. Like in this word, it's tzadok. Okay, it is the U sound, but in this word, it's pronounced like O. So it is tzadok. Let us go to the next one. Next one, it has the tzade. It has the E sound. Remember, it has the wow sound. That's why we say Sion. Sion, because it have over here the it sound, Sion. And here it is functioning as an O, the wow is as an O. And you will learn this later on. This is Nun Sofit, which is at the end of the word. But what do you need to understand here? Two things. TS sound and the Y sound, which is like E, and the U sound, which is in some cases like O. That's why you have Sion. In English, the meaning is Zion, okay? Let us move on to another strong sound. there's a difference with this. This one is kaf, okay? This letter is kaf. In many cases, you're going to find transliteration like ch, and in other cases, you're gonna find like a kh. But this is very, very important. It doesn't matter if you see it like ch. It's not like the English ch like we use in church. No, it is like a K sound, but a little bit different, more like an H for but strong H in the back of your throat. And if you're not getting what I'm saying, listen. If you get the word house, let us pretend that you're gonna pronounce it hard at the back of your throat. You're gonna say like house. I know it can be difficult. You don't have to be perfect at the beginning. You just need practice. But this is the sound of the cough. Okay, never as in the ch church, because you're gonna find it in the transliteration as ch and sometimes as kh, but the pronunciation is like that. Like very strong H is cough. If you try the pronunciation that I'm giving you, like in house, you will say house. Let us go to the Hebrew and you'll understand a little bit better. This letter has the same sound as this letter. This letter is called het, which I gave you already. This one is kaf. They're all strong sound in the back of your throat. They represent almost the same identical sound. Let us see a pronunciation over here so you can get better understanding of what I'm saying. You see this letter? This is the het, which is strong, very strong. That's why we say hanok. And this is the kaf sofit, which is the same as this one. The difference is that when the K is at the end, it's called kaf sofit. You will learn it in lesson 10. So I'm just giving you the tips right now. So that's why you say hanok. You're going to find it in the transliteration as ch, but the pronunciation is not like in church. It's ha. And everywhere you see that K is strong. Hanok, which is Enoch. Okay, now having reviewed these few exceptions, which I hope you practice over and over, we are ready to go to lesson number 1. Let us just review one more time. We have the as sound everywhere you see it. As sound. Remember that the Alef is silenced in most of the cases. It helps the next consonant or the previous consonant. So depending on the consonant, it's gonna be the sound of this one. And we have the E sound. It doesn't matter where you see it, it's E sound. We have the U sound, which is also the O sound. That's why you have example here, Elohim. We have the Hey sound, which is soft. At the beginning, the middle is pronounced soft, but if it is at the end, you don't pronounce the H at the end. Okay, that's why you have Yahuah. You don't say Yahuah, it's Yahuah. And we have the Het sound, which is very strong. And this is 2 examples you have over here. You have Yahusha, and you have over here MASHIYACH, because it has the Het. It's a strong sound. MASHIYACH. We are reviewing. The next sound is the Shin, which is very easy for you. We saw it already in MASHIYACH and Yahusha. The next sound is the Ts, which is Sadok. Okay, Tzion. And the final sound is the CH, which is our KH, that you're gonna find it, which is Het in Kaf. And you have an example, Hanok, because it is using the Het and it's very strong. And the Kaf is also strong, Hanok. This is the introduction. Now, let us start our lesson 1. Lesson 1, and we're gonna see the first letters. Remember, the goal in all of this is for you to learn to read Hebrew and identify every single word whenever you see it. So we're gonna start with the first one, which is Alef. plus vowel support, bet, always bet, never v, never v, never. It's bet, strong B all the time. Doesn't matter if in the traditional academic Hebrew tells you that is V search, do a research. V sound is not a biblical sound. The V did not exist it's like 500 years old. So anyway, it is always like strong B, bet, okay? Gimel, always Gimel. It's not like you have the word George. That's not. It is always like in guitar, always like G, Gimel. And the last one is Dalet. So what are we going to do? We're gonna go back to the alphabet we have at the beginning, which is gonna show you the strikes, how you practice. That's why we have the workbook, Yahuah workbook, where you can practice your writing skills and learn. You can look for it. So how do you write Alef? You have the first stroke, second stroke on the top, and the last stroke down. That's how you write the consonant Alef. Let's go to bet. Bet, it has two stroke, which is first one, it looks like a 7, but it is not. And then the line, the stroke at the bottom, please make sure that it comes out a little bit. It's gonna make a difference. You're gonna understand it later on, okay? The third one, it has two stroke, which is Gimel, and the second one, that's how you have the Gimel. And the last one for now is Dalet, which have the stroke on the top and then the line below. Be careful. You see, there's a difference between the first stroke for bet and the stroke for Dalet. If you see, it comes out a little bit. That's gonna help you a lot if you understand that difference. So that's how you write the first 4 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Let us go back to lesson number 1 so we can practice with a few words. We have Alef, okay? And for Alef, we have the example Ab, because that's Alef. This is bet, which is B. Never Af. Never. This is traditional academic Hebrew using a wrong pronunciation or the V sound, which is biblical Hebrew. In Yahuah, we don't use the V sound. It is B. Ab, which is father. Okay. The second one is for the letter bet, which is, you see, you have bet, and this one you have over here is the nun suffix, which is the N. That's why it is ban. Ban. Never ban. Traditional Hebrew used the word ban, but remember, Yahuah, we're not using the S sound. We use the A sound all the time. And you will understand later on why we're using the A sound all the time. So this is ban, never ban, okay? Ban, which is son. Next one for Gimel. Gimel is always pronounced like when you say go, give, garden. It never changes the sound. It doesn't matter what you see, where you find it. It is the same sound all the time. So we're gonna have here gabar, gabar. And this is a trick one. I'm pronouncing the R a little bit different so you can get the sound. You can even say gabar, but the Hebrew is gonna say, the Hebrew sound is gabah, 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 gabah. So, but you're just starting, so don't stress yourself. You can say gabar. This is to be strong, to prevail. And the last letter is Dalet, always as D, and we have the example here, dag, dag, dag. It is fish. If you go to the book of Kings, you're gonna find an idol which is Dagon. You can say Dagon, but that we're talking about Hebrew, so it's Dagon, which is the fish god. That's why dag, you gotta remember, is fish. Now, let us review a few of the words that we learned so far in lesson number 1. And very important, you can trace those words going to the concordance strong. That's why you have the H is for Hebrew. If you go to the concordance strong, you go to H1, you're gonna find this one in Hebrew, even though it tells you different pronunciations, so you can omit the different pronunciation and stick to Yahuah pronunciation, which is the correct one. We're using Abba, Father, found at H1. Ban, Son, found at H1121. Gabar, to be strong, found at H1396. And Dag, fish, at H1709. And now we're reaching the end of the first lesson. In every single lesson, you're going to have something incredible. It is 2 phrases that are going to help you get close to Yahuah by memorizing them, learning them. At the end of level 1, you're going to be able to know 20 phrases. At the end of level 2, that's going to be 40 phrases. So here we go. Daily walk with Yahuah, a guided path. Lesson 1, 2 expressions to know Yahuah. I have colored the letters we have already seen. So this is Bakar Top Yahuah. Bakar Top Yahuah. In traditional Hebrew, in academic Hebrew, it can tell you Boker, but in Yada Yahuah is Bakar Top Yahuah. Top is everything that is good, which is used for good. Bakar, that's the word used for morning. And Yahuah, we already know, but we're gonna learn what it really means later on. So Bakar Top Yahuah. Bakar Top Yahuah. Good morning, Yahuah. Second one, Ani Ba Alakha. Let us get the letters one by one. Ani is Alef. Nun. Yod or Yad. That's why it is Ani, because it is everywhere you pronounce is like E. Ani Ba Alakha. What do you have? Remember, this is Kaf, so feet at the end. So it is very strong. And you have Ani Ba Alakha. I come to you. You're going to understand sometimes that when you see that Yad or Yod in some letters, it works as a liaison, connecting one with another, actually giving a pronunciation. You can say Aniba Alakha, but we're using Aniba Alakha as I come to you. First one, Bakar Top Yahuah. Good morning, Yahuah. Second one, Aniba Alakha. I come to you. This is the end of lesson 1. Remember that we are using Yada Yahuah, Biblical Hebrew. Learn to read the Hebrew, the scriptures, and discover the name of Yahuah, level 1 and 2. And we are also using, which you can try to find, which is perfect for practicing, Yada Yahuah, Biblical Hebrew Workbook. Biblical Hebrew, practice for mastering the Hebrew letters and reading the scriptures, level 1 and 2. Shalom, and I'll see you in lesson number 2.